Have I messed it up when I pulled my thing out?
So good afternoon, and this is Pink team, and I'm Anna, and due to the time limit, we actually prepared some circle questions, but first we're going to play a game, because just try to warm up, and we're gonna have 6 questions, which we think is quite common sense. We don't have to explain too much, and then we could assign each group. Now we have 3 groups, so each group to answer 2 questions, and then we have pick. So the first one, so based on the situation in the text, what is the tender text? So there's several tender texts that can belong to, and here tender invitations are published in the governments of HK as they are gazette on every Friday on the internet, and if necessary in the local press or select overseas journals. All interested contractors are free to submit their tender. So there are 4 choices. And what kind of the tender types of that? So you're good. Obviously.
A, open tender.
Yes, A is correct. So good warm-up question, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone have one. But 6 questions, so should be shared. The second one, what is the minimum time normally allowed for tenders to submit their plans? So 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks? Yes.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah. Okay, you guys all deserve one.
How about another chocolate?
Another topic. This is dark chocolate. Okay. Then next. In the week following the last publication of the tender invitation, what is the purpose of a pre-tendering meeting? So the meeting will finalize the contract terms to allow contractors to visit the site and raise queries, and to select the winning tenders to supplement the tender period. So what is the purpose? Before deadline of tenders, so there will be a pre-tender meeting. So what is the purpose of that pre-tender meeting? Yeah. And then next. So when is the preparation of tendering documentation undertaken? A, before design development starts. B, during design development. C, after design development is completed. And last, after the contractor is selected.
D.
Middle. Well, for the last question. So, last 2 questions. Ready? Okay, contract documents need to convey relevant information in sufficient detail to allow designer, consultant, client, contractor. Okay. Yeah. Last lap, it's like, so it's three, the specification, 300 times 400, on the building, depth of the soil. Plus, yeah, I think that common sense you guys don't know. So everyone got one. So now we move on to the next one. Okay, something is like
Clarify the last question. Using the specification prepared by the designer, if the subcontractor are employed for the design of part of the work, they should prepare the specification for the part of which they are responsible. And I will slightly explain later. So usually the materials prepared for the tendering is about like the first design form, and second one is the general and special condition of tender, general condition of contract, special condition of contract, general and particular specification, and the bill of quantities and drawings. So about the awarded tenders, here's the flow chart. Like you can see the relationship between the developer, government, and also the landscape consultant. Usually the client will request for the 10 documents for review the design, and on the other hand, they have the quantity surveyor to request for cost estimation. So so that's why we have the topic today. Like part of the topic is the preparation of the tender documents. So it's including the specification. Also, they have some required drawing lists, such as the layout plan drawing, including the planning plan, soil depth plan, drainage plan, irrigation plan, and also some detailed drawings like curve detail, building detail, or planting detail, or something else. And who are going to prepare of those tenant documents and drawings? The landscape consultant, which means you guys. And within this team, we usually have landscape architect, landscape designers, senior designer, and arborist. And they usually, the landscape designer will do some productive work to produce those drawings, and the landscape architect will review the drawing. On the other hand side, the landscape designer usually asks for the senior designer and arborist for assist, so that like they will give some planning information, planning requirement, also some reference drawings, like extruded from the previous project, and also they will send you some detailed drawings, like general. So when we move to construction stage, and after that we submit the 10 drawings, all those will be construction drawings, and so the landscape consultant will try to monitor the construction, and who are going to follow those construction drawings to produce the construction work. So they are the main contractor and also the subcontractor. And all the things and the reason why do we have specification is trying to make all things to tally with the design intention and about the quality. So here's some, when we talk about drawings, so here are some drawing materials in the very beginning when you wrap up 10 documents. Like we will receive the site layout plan from the architect or from the project team, and we also will coordinate the same drawing sheet. And before that, as you remember the last question, we mentioned about usually awarding the tender is after the design development is completed. So usually the clients may give you the approved design concept proposal. And also there are some reference details drawing you may refer to some by the senior designers, specialists, and also some public standard drawings, such as highway department. So this is just for example. As you guys may remember, one of the items from Gavin, and we are trying to do some like landscape design proposal, especially for the soft landscape. And so this is, try to imagine this is the approved conceptual design, and we are going to refer to this design intention and produce the tentative documents and drawings. And yeah, maybe we have some like planning session for your information. And we will also get some initial level plans to produce like some of the layout plans, such as the drainage layout plan, irrigation plan, and solar plan. So all those drawing there are for cost estimation and for plan review. And here's the, so for the interest of time, some of the tenant drawing has been completed, because there are some outstanding drawings we need you guys to prepare according to those some prepared planning plans. So we also have some lighting schedule. So those drawings are part of, we need to send to the client for cost estimation. And the paving detail, the cold counter detail, some sprinkler detail, we can ask for the specialist provided. And there are some the rest of the typical details. So when we talk about, so it is part of the coordination internally. Like I just mentioned that we are the landscape designer, we prepare the drawings, and we may ask for the landscape architect and senior designer for help. But especially for the soft landscape design independent documents, we need the conceptual planning design for approval, and also we need the conceptual design proposal. And on the other hand, we still have to prepare the planning plan and planning schedule for cost estimation. So required information for the cost estimation is about the quantity, the planning schedule, planning plan with areas, soil depth, and typical planning box details, such as the subsoil drain, drain cell, wood floor, tree, anchoring kit, and things else. So there are some outstanding drawings to be prepared by you, such as the planning schedule, the soil depth plan, drainage layout plan, irrigation plan, and landscape lighting plan. So we usually create some legend like this, and we put the symbol on the layout plan to indicate like what kind of lighting fixture we are going to propose on plan, on site. And on the other hand, we are trying to we can propose the distribution of the water pond and some drainage channel on site. So maybe we can list some drawings here. Working experience.
呢個係咪畫圖高睇？
This is the lighting plan. And you can try to propose different lighting fixture and provide also the drainage plan. And don't forget about the layout plan. You can try to refer to which area.
呢個係 lighting 呢個係 soil drainage 咁細嘅好似唔啱你係咪3組都係哦呢個都那你要确定这个 schedule 里面要放下哪3个呢啲係 lighting 是不是有一個 lighting plan？有啊有那個 你要掹翻個位咯，係啦，咁樣做就係咁樣做啦，係啦，就係咁樣做啊，就是這樣子做啊。哇我自己定在 lighting area 就畫自己 simple。L 零就是没有 scale 到画不了。對啊，每隔即係幾多米先可以有一個標準啊？對，就3米1我畫嗰啲，唔係啊，佢用10樣分。唔係啊，佢係圈圈方方。Nothing you're doing in your studio, you're going to do in your all the stuff Andy's telling you about is what you'll be doing. L 係高嘅，咁我唔好先啦，唔好搞，唔係我就係係喎，咪車咪7米㗎，啊係啊，呢個佢下邊嗰個係咩？即係嗰啲有個 curve 即係地動。
But they needing lots of projects and they want you to work on it day to day. This will be your project. Maybe you work on 3 projects.
Yeah, 做兩碼字。
Like that. So they'll be happier. The more you can take responsibility, the happier everybody is. And the more you can show your understanding of contracts, specifications, all these stuff that's so boring to listen to, but actually that makes your most of your job. That's how you're going to rise in your company because your boss trusts you. Be able to take the say that the design bit usually creates an input because there are so many contracts already given so much. Engineers said you need to do that, government that whole totally cool. They just really go, okay, that's but then you have to do it properly. You have to bundle it
Don't forget about the detailed drawings and all those drawings you may have to input drawing principle. So which means you have to apply, for example, the details so we can use it. Give it a name. Maybe irrigation detail. So when you write out the kind of drawings, you will let the client know what kind of drawing it is.
然后就大概会有15个地方。
哇，哇晒一直我畫嘢。
哇，呢個呢個最可能政府嘅風格。
我應該是要看這個，我要看這個外圖，我要看這個。責任不做這個是關係，然後這個是。我們是要看這個 reference。
我就說怎麼看不出來。
然後呢，我們要畫這個的話，我的畫的這個每要20厘米，還是10厘米？20厘米。然後這種就是正常來說的話，你要就是把你說高低，或者高低的地方，這裡會放那個就是你的圈應該在那個低的位置，就是在那個低的位置，會放一個最好的位置，所以可能要過去。我畫完。哎呀，這樣速度好像我連佢咩 scale 唔係啊，呢啲好興啊嘛，即係紅筆圈 scale。
你需要這個資料
邊方線太高，手法。哦，需要，一般就是那個 radius，就是 radius，那就 irrigation coil 應該有個永遠嘅電喺度 即係咁啩。其實係啲人咁做嘅，哇！不過嗰陣時我冇寫呢個語都，哇！我唔識喎。係啊，我哋都係即係跟住我話你連用咩 stretch 跑啊？你唔好理啦，你來啦。你有辦法俾佢哋快速打俾我啦。我中意佢。因為佢真係叫我改個思維。 对，就是你要25，然后要1再意识一下就 OK 了。因为我也原始，你根本冇理。肯定有20米啊，那个要低一点。design 的时候就你还不用去计算那个因为就是你知道，比如说在 contender 这一份 contender 出现的时候，另外一个是因为数学经常会因为所以就很多时候就会改 design 因为有时候会知道实际的它不会告诉你怎么所以你就大概用你的经验，就去看一下这个 project 的大小，大概可以知道一个过程也是这样，因为每一个就是每一个然后这个是在一个一个看到的时候是看哦，之前有你可以找到一点。嗰陣時我好想話慳紙啊，所以我就有幾多10幾多一張聽。我已經唔係細個。 我们就觉得外层地图。
So thank you for participating in this game session. It's like a short practice to let you know in advance like what are you going to do in a landscape consultant firm. So as I mentioned that for the tender documents it's including the drawings. So as a landscape teams, you have the landscape designer, architect, and designer. All of them they try to assist you to prepare those drawings, and then you will submit to the client. And so very suggest me to refine these drawings. So there's a mistake, like the quantity surveyor should be part of the project team in this site. So which means he is also under the client. So this is one of the college, and this is not from the developer side. And I saw that some of the great work from you guys. Like for example, I can see the lighting plan. So usually we try to put some indicate the distribution of the lighting fixture and let the client know that what kind of lighting fixture we are going to propose, the number of the lighting fixture we are going to provide, because this one is affect the cost. Like as Barry mentioned about that, the 50% and 50% is about the design and the quality, the price. And so, and on the other hand, after we complete the layout plans, we also have indicated about the details, and we usually receive from the specialists to let the client and also the quantity surveyor to know that what kind of lighting fixture we are going to propose. And also that this is the irrigation and the drainage system. So we have to indicate that the distribution of the drainage channel and also the water point. Like all of them is also affecting about the price and also the yes. One more thing to add on is that even though you prepare all those drawings, but you still have to communicate and also negotiate with your other consultants in your design team, including like E&M and drainage and all these kind of different consultants. They will actually try to follow your intent, but sometimes due to some of the technical difficulties, they may not follow the same as your intention. But you still have to draw like your intention and trying to communicate with them and to make your design feasible. So that's the key point of it. Yeah. And also talking about this kind of specification is also needed is for the quality surveyor to for quoting the price of it. And sometimes because of the cost, you may not have that many like custom design in your proposed design. And so you have all this proprietary product, and you have to source them and put it into your tender for quotation. And about the soft landscape, obviously all this kind of information is important in including like this kind of the height and the basically dimension of those plants and the scientific name of the plants. But sometimes Chinese names can be quite, you will have some discrepancy. To make sure that you will get the plants that you wanted, so you need to provide like those
like scientific names and all those spacing, as well as the requirements in order to get the right client to take a proposal.
So after we come up, one more reminder, like don't forget to put back the drawing titles, because you need to indicate that what kind of drawing it is, that the project team know what are you going to use this drawing, what is it about. So after we complete all those kind of drawings, we still need the specification, and this is one of the crucial things between the kind of documents. So on the left-hand side is the sample. The key outcome is about the design intention, the quality standards, and also the project timeline. So what it is, a document that outlines the requirement, responsibility, and standard for the soft landscape works, and serves as a guideline for the nominated subcontractor to ensure the compliance with project specification, regulation, and quality standard. And the key purpose is to define the scope of work, specify the materials, plan, labor, and technical requirements. The list has to be carried out by the NSC and ensure the quality aligns with the general specification and particular project needs. Establish the standard for inspection, certification, and approval, and coordinate roles. Verify the roles of the landscape architect, supervising the officer and other contractor. And the scope of work is about the NSC responsibility to supply, deliver, and install all the soft landscape materials, maintain and protect the plants during the holding nursery and establishment period, and submit necessary documentation for certificate, report, and mock-up for review. And we also have to ensure the qualities align with the general specification, establish the standard for the inspection certificate, and the coordination role, verify the roles of the landscape. I think they're duplicated. So this is also one of the examples to show how does it look like. It's not about the drawings, it's one of the documents. You need to clarify clearly within documents to let the client and also the contractor know about it. These are guidelines. So it's not only about the soft landscape, it's also about the hard landscape. So I would like to pass it to Nick.
Okay. So usually the contractor have to submit all these kind of things. But obviously there's so many hard landscape categories, including some kind of metalworks, stonework, and also drainage layer, and goes on and on. But basically they all have to fulfill like these 5, like including like construction schedule, shop drawings, product data and sample, operation manuals and certification, and also as well as the final S2 drawing. So obviously these kind of drawings have to bring conjunction with the landscape drawing, general specification, and also the general specification for building different editions of guidelines. So the first thing is to the construction schedule. All this kind of submits is to ensure the quality of the work, which the contractor must coordinate with hard landscape contractors and other specialists to prepare a detailed construction program, including like submitting materials and shop drawing submission for the designer and also client to approve it and to meet the project milestone as well. So the shop drawing is the contractor will follow your design intention to try to create a detailed design, a detailed drawing submission that are sometimes they will alternate your drawings to meet in order to have the quality that are able to build. Sometimes design intention is quite hard to build, and they will also control their own like cost. But obviously, as a designer, you have to defend yourself and trying to communicate with them in order to meet your design intention while controlling the cost. There's a constant communication between like contractor with shop drawings, just calming thing to make sure you get the things you want. It's also another way to control the quality.
Could you give us an example of what might need a shop drawing? If you can't, I'll help.
Yeah.
Because you've prepared all these drawings,
Yeah.
why do you need shop drawings?
Because
Give me something that might need a shop drawing, because not everything does. Can you think of something? Can anyone think of something?
usually pavilion and
Well, I don't know about pavilion, but usually something quite specialized from a specialized manufacturer. They know how to build it better than you do, right? Furniture, maybe. I would say something like a sculpture, right? You're not going to design the sculpture. Maybe you get an artist. The artist does that, and then the artist actually, maybe it's in bronze. They need to take it and get it manufactured in bronze. So they'll work with the bronze kiln person to produce some drawings, and they'll have to change it a little bit. Actually, I work on bronze, and you go from, you have a concept, you give it to the sculptor, he works it forwards, then he has to go to the foundry where they'll make it, and the foundry will prepare some drawings, so you can see what the final thing will look like. Because you can't do that, yeah. So a lot of technical things, you'll ask them, show me how you're going to do it, and you approve it rather than you tell them how to do it. So where other people know better than you, let them do a shop drawing. Oh, and something that goes with that is something called a method statement, which is often, this is how we're going to do it. Yeah. Very good.
so about the product data and samples, likewise, because sometimes they may propose another material that are not qualified. So it's pretty critical to make sure that they get the same, like the product data that you want, like including like sometimes like paving, you have this kind of loading to make sure that, such as when you like designing a paving for the car road, you have all these kind of loading issues with like, does it handle like 300 tons, and you have this kind of data to provide that to make sure that the product is able to reach your requirement for the certain specific use, like especially car road. Like, yeah. So, and also sample. Mainly is, and all the sample submission is also about make sure that the material that you request and they offer is the same, like the color-wise or the texture, and also the material is like the same that you propose. Like, yeah. And also you have mock-up as well, because usually during the construction, they before they do the whole thing, the whole design, then you need some kind of mock-up to make sure that the quality is good enough to go. And usually I mean it varies, but some kind of specific requirement, including like typically 3 times 3 meters preferable on site, and all this kind of mock-up cost is included in contract sum and must be approved before the material ordering. And other commencement is work start after the mock-up approval, and improvement are the contractor responsibility and cost as well. So, and the operation manuals and other certificates is including you have this kind of warranties and the copies of the equipment and materials warranty and certificates, and also the list of equipment and material with local manufacturer with present context and details. And you have all these kind of technical drawings, including the drawings and diagrams. So move on. So final stage of it, as everything is built, but sometimes because the shop drawing don't have not included in the contract, so you have this as-built drawing is after all the site construction finished, then you need to they will produce a SQ drawing as the remark that you make during the shop drawings, and to finalize it as a final drawing. And the submission timing is 1 week after of the practical completion, and documents of changes, including, and also the copies like require the free set of hard and soft copies as well. So basically that's it.
I think you did really well, and you covered a couple of things at the end there that'll go into my session when you're actually on the construction site, like the mock-up and things. Those need to be on the construction site. I've got a question for everybody, and let's come back to our shop drawing. So we're trying to tender this out. We've done all our drawings of how we want to get it built, and we want a contractor to come back and say, okay, I'll charge this amount. What about things that we don't know how much they're going to cost? Let's say there is a sculpture in there, right? And at this stage, the sculptor hasn't had time to go and work all that out. We're at early stages. You've only just decided you want a sculpture there at the last minute. How do you deal with that for the tender? Any ideas? Okay. Contingency? Are you sure it's a contingency? There are some key terms here I'd really like to see you put into your final deliverable. Contingency sum is one of them. Provisional sum is another. Prime cost sum is the other one. Right, so yeah, some things are going to be unknown. So for unknowns, you already put a sum in there to say how much you'll allow. So maybe in the tender, you already tell the contractor, allow 100,000 for a sculpture. Then all the contractors, when they bid, they've got the same amount in there, 100. So it's fair. So it's just trying to be fair. So what do you think happens if you're really trying to rush out a project fast and get someone on board and get it started? What do you think happens in terms of how well you can measure the specification and get the details of the drawings? Perhaps I'll go there. So if you're in a real rush, what happens is you tend to put in more provisional sums, right? Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do on that. We'll just allow some money for that. So you'd speak to QS and say, let's allow some. How much? Don't know. But in a really rushed job, almost the whole thing can become a provisional sum, if you think about it. What is it? Landscape. Okay, provisional sum, 10 million. So it starts from 10 million, and the more time and work you've got to design it in more detail, the more accurate you can continually make the cost estimate for the client, and also get a very accurate quote from the contractors. But life never gives you that much time. You're always going to be short of time up against it. So it's always going to be a balance of kind of getting as much together as you really can, and lots of unknowns that you have to try and guess. And the point is then, you may have more tenders as you go along. So you may say, we've allowed 100,000 for this sculpture, let's now put another tender out to 5 sculptors and see what they can come back with and what costs they're going to charge. Right? So you kick the can down the road. So the whole contract, gradually you'll find out what it's going to cost. Great work, well done, thank you. Right, what's the time? I think today, because we have a lot to go through, is it about 4 o'clock? 3:50. Can we have a... Yeah, sorry.
The last one, the question is, if you have time, please give us a feedback. We have wrap up and put it on the panel.
Yes, any other questions or things that you're not clear on, put them in the feedback and then you can clarify them for everybody.
Thank you so much.
Let's have a short break. In the time it takes me to go downstairs and get a coffee and come back, I think that's 10 minutes before we carry on. Không mày anh, you come next up.